I would like to take 20-25 minutes to provide you with a more in-depth presentation of what we achieved with CertifHy since October 2020. So we are halfway point of the project. The project will have a total duration of 3 years. So this is very good to reflect on what has been achieved so far. And I would like to start with actually talking specifically about GEOs. So as we already explained this morning, CertifHy and the AIB as a member of the CertifHy consortium, I've engaged some joint collaboration to facilitate the development of hydrogen GEO schemes by EU member states. As you know, the RED II Article 19 has introduced the need for member states to implement their national GEO scheme for hydrogen. Obviously, this is something that needs quite a lot of harmonization to make sure that the market will be running and will actually serve the need for the industry. So this implementation takes time, and it was absolutely needed to provide facilitation, to provide guidelines, to make sure that the hydrogen geo market in the future is not running on a market distortion and disagreement. So towards helping competent authorities from governments and issuing bodies on the design of their national hydrogen geo scheme, one major achievement for which I'm personally very proud of is that we successfully updated the AIB EX rules, so the core document, the core document based that's provided by the AIB to accommodate for hydrogen. What does it mean? It means that now hydrogen is a specific energy carrier as per the X rules. So now it's possible for an AIB member to issue hydrogen GEOs under the X rules. It also provided some much needed guidance and definition as to what is hydrogen, how to document the carbon content, what are the rules and specific rules and processes which needs to be accounted for when issuing and managing an hydrogen geo scheme. The X rules actually provide the high-level framework for a national scheme to be implemented. But then, once such a scheme is integrated into a national legislation, there is always a very important task that needs to be achieved, which is setting up an issuing body operations. I'm actually talking from past experience. I've been working for the EEX group for 5 years before joining the CertifHy project, operating the French National Registry for Electricity GEOs. And when you look at the operation of an issuing body from the inside, you very quickly realize that all the processes, all the checklists, all the questions, how do we handle disputes, how do you handle measurements, how do you validate the data, what happens if there is any doubt with the quality of measurement or with an audit. Those are questions that for which you definitely need guidance if you want to avoid a lengthy, many years process of implementation. To that extent, the AIB has provided for the electricity sector for quite some years now what is called a domain protocol template, which is basically a canvas for an issuing body to be able to ask himself the right question as to how do I issue GEOs, how do I handle transfers, cancellation, expiry, how do I register a new production device, how do I nominate certification bodies, auditors, and so on and so onwards. Obviously, the hydrogen system comes with its own specificities, and so in parallel of updating the X rules, we also successfully updated the AIB domain protocol template, and therefore providing issuing bodies much needed help with the setup of their operational regime. That being said, those very much needed achievements are only sufficient in the case where there is a national hydrogen GO scheme in a certain member states, which is so far not the case in Europe. The only known hydrogen issuing body that we have is based in the Netherlands. This is Vertegas. I will go to that later. And so we needed to find a solution for market participants, for producers, for consumers needed to buy and procure, to buy and sell renewable and low carbon hydrogen, even if there is no national scheme already in play. And what the solution that we've suggested to the market is to align the CertifHy scheme with the AIB X rules to allow market participants to use the CertifHy scheme and to issue, transfer, and cancel hydrogen GOs, even in member states where there is no hydrogen GO scheme available. In practice, it means that CertifHy will formally apply as what we call a non-governmental certificate scheme recognized by the AIB. And so it means that we'll ensure the development of a harmonized market and prepare and pave the way for competent authorities and issuing bodies willing to implement their national scheme in the future. So it's been a great deal of work, both on CertifHy, AIB members, and all contributor sides. Obviously, all discussion taking place at standardization level did not facilitate all of our questioning and all of our collaboration, but I think that this is a very important stepping stone for the development of a harmonized hydrogen GO scheme. And I really want to put an emphasis on harmonized, because this is with harmonized systems throughout Europe that will enable the creation of a liquid, efficient, and valuable hydrogen GO market, and therefore further facilitate the development for clean hydrogen in Europe. Still on the front of striving for harmonization and facilitating the development of schemes in Europe and the documentation of the environmental attribute of hydrogen. One big talking point since the very beginning of CertifHy has always been, but how do we assess, how do we calculate the carbon content of hydrogen? It comes with many complexities, many questions in which I don't really want to go too much into detail, because Frédéric will do that himself later this afternoon. But based on the work that we've been doing in collaboration with Working Group 2 and the entire Stakeholder Platform, CertifHy has developed new guidelines to allow for an easier, more harmonized reporting of CO2 content on hydrogen GOs. This is something that the market has been lacking for quite some time. The question on standard, the question on scope has always been very difficult to address. And so all the results from the CertifHy Stakeholder Platform will be published soon in the document that will be available for everybody to use, including competent authorities, including issuing bodies when they implement their national hydrogen GO scheme. The current version that Frédéric Barth will present to you later this afternoon has been approved by Working Group 2. And while it will remain only, quote unquote, a public deliverable and a public document in the months to come, we will also look to formally introduce it as a subsidiary document to the CertifHy scheme when we go through the adequate consultation process with the Stakeholder Platform. And actually, I would like on GOs, and I would like to take a practical view, show you in practice what does it mean and how the work that we've been doing since CertifHy 1 can actually be put at the use of the market. Early 2022, the company Vertogas in the Netherlands has been appointed by the government as the National Hydrogen GO issuing body. And rather than designing and implementing their own scheme by themselves, Vertogas has decided to adopt the CertifHy scheme for the certification of green and low carbon hydrogen, in particular when it comes to how to assess the renewability of hydrogen and how to assess the carbon content of hydrogen. So we've been collaborating with Vertogas. There is at the moment a pilot scheme, a pilot certification project that's running, and we'll soon be able to Vertogas will soon be able to provide the Dutch market with a much needed hydrogen GO instrument based on the work, partly based on the work that has been done with CertifHy. Looking at the past, I think this is an overwhelming achievement for CertifHy, starting from the Stakeholder Platform many years ago, and now ending up being a valuable tool and a valuable project for the actual implementation of the clean hydrogen market in Europe. And so for that, I would like to congratulate every party that have contributed to this much needed success. Quick word on CertifHy issuing body. The CertifHy issuing body has been launched back in 2017, 2018 during the pilot project in the framework of CertifHy 2. I think this is, as Bart already mentioned this morning, the CertifHy issuing body currently operated by Grexel is still active. And while the market uptake could be seen as quite slow because the volumes are not gigantic, we can see that transactions with end consumers, issuance, constellations are still happening at the moment. Susanna this morning also told us that more transactions are in the pipe, I would say. So the market is growing, the market is still active. And we even witnessed in July 2021 the first transaction of hydrogen GOs issued under the CertifHy scheme between a market participant and an end consumer, which was the first time. So far, we had transactions in between market participants, in between producers and brokers and solutions provider. But now we can see that the end consumers are really picking up the topic and asking for renewable and low carbon hydrogen GOs. So I think that this is, even though the system is still pretty much being developed as we speak, we see that the market is already interested, and this is, I mean, I would argue that this is the best signal that we can get for the future of the hydrogen certificate market and the clean hydrogen market at large. And by doing that, and how did we achieve that? Obviously, one of the key points has been to continuously promote and disseminate the work that has been achieved with the Stakeholder Platform through the CertifHy 3 project to improve the market readiness for hydrogen certification. I'm just showing a few events that we've been attending to, during which we've presented the work and achievement and viewpoints from the CertifHy project from the Stakeholder Platform. We also launched earlier this year the new CertifHy website that is meant for being user-friendly, making sure that all the producers and consumers and market participants can find the information that they need to get CertifHy hydrogen GOs. So yeah, it's been a continuous work. We still see that the topic of hydrogen certification is at the same time very hot, I would say, but I still the market has a lot of questions, and we'll continue doing that in the future. I would like to end talking about RFNBOs, GOs, and the complexity of the hydrogen certification value chain. As I said, this morning, hydrogen is a different beast. If you allow me, this is the first occurrence of a molecule or product that will be certified at the same time under a book and claim system, guarantees of origin, and a mass balance system, RFNBOs in the EU voluntary scheme. And so there was a need from the jumpstart to make sure that we design an architecture dedicated to hydrogen certification, which will allow for swift operation of all those certification systems that will need to interact somehow in the future, making sure that we avoid any kind of double counting, making sure, as Felicia Mester said this morning, that we build a bulletproof system, and also making sure that we don't create too much administrative burden for market participants and economic operators. And so CertifHy has developed, and I will be happy to comment on that after the plenary session. Feel free to get in touch with me. But has developed what we call an energy attribute tracking system for hydrogen to allow for the combination of book and claim and mass balance. I didn't want to show you a big technical IT diagram because it will take hours to explain. But I think that what should be taken up from what we've done is that actually, even though there are a lot of questions as to whether GOs and RFNBO certificate should interact, what should be the overall system in the future, that actually GOs and RFNBO are complementary. How? Because GOs in themselves will participate to the improvement of RFNBO certification by providing further much needed evidence to the one who are responsible for issuing those RFNBO certificates. And also, one key point that we've been using, one key element that we've been using and stepping on for the entire design phase was we want to provide market participant economic operators with maximum flexibility. We've seen a question in the chat box this morning saying, hey, is it possible to convert a GO into a RFNBO certificate? Is it possible to do the other way around? While conversion is very unlikely given the market condition and how those schemes will operate in practice, what we've been able to do is to make sure that there is maximum flexibility in practice, making sure that once a GO is issued, it will stay alive up until the last moment where it needs to stay alive, making sure that the producer, that the market participant can pick and choose the best market depending on the product that they want to put to deliver to their consumer. So on that, again, I only have a few minutes, so I can't really go into much detail, but I will be happy to comment on that and to share a little bit more the results. In the end, what we've designed is a certification architecture taking account the union database, taking account RFNBO, the RFNBO market needs, taking account the future national hydrogen GO system. We've designed a certification architecture where sectoral expertise facilitate reporting, facilitate tracking, and in the end, facilitate the market update. That's for our achievement. I have 5 minutes left in this presentation, and so I would like to finalize this presentation. And before giving the floor to Matthias Altman, I would like to take a look a little bit at the future. What's next for CertifHy in 2022 and 2023? Here, I would like to present, and obviously this is not the full extent, but 2 main directions that we will take for the months to come. The first one, obviously, is continue to push for the development of a harmonized hydrogen GO market in Europe. I said harmonized quite many times in the presentation. I hope that this is one of the words that you will take with you and remember after the session. The harmonization of the hydrogen GO market will be one of the key stepping stones for creating trust and creating a market that's actually functioning. To achieve that, as I said, the CertifHy GO scheme will formally apply for recognition as a non-governmental certification scheme. That means that we will create an alternative for market participants in countries where there is no hydrogen GO scheme available yet. Also, and this is definitely something that we'll discuss later this afternoon, the CertifHy GO scheme is a living document. So the consultation with stakeholders will continue, and we already know that during the process of recognition by the AIB, during stakeholders dialogue, we'll need at some point to update the CertifHy GO scheme to further address the needs that are arising from the market. And also, CertifHy is still, like we did with Vertogas, CertifHy is still looking to collaborate with competent authorities and issuing bodies on the development of their national hydrogen GO market to accelerate this development, which is finally the end game. It's to have, like we have for electricity, every single member state being able to issue hydrogen GO scheme, and all those member states being connected through the European market. When we look at RFNBOs, CertifHy in 2022, CertifHy in 2023 will be especially looking at becoming what we call an enabler for the RFNBO market. We've been, the past 18 months have been pretty much really focused on the update of the CertifHy GO scheme, on the work on GOs. But now, with this plenary today, we are at the turning point, I would say, of the project. And now our focus will shift more and more from GOs towards RFNBOs, because this is what we need to build for the renewable hydrogen market in Europe and beyond. In practice, that means that CertifHy will formally kickstart the collaboration with the Stakeholder Platform working groups on the development of a new scheme for RFNBO certification towards RED II compliance in the transport sector. This scheme will apply as an EU voluntary scheme, hopefully in 2022. I'm saying hopefully because I think that a lot of people in this room know that we are still waiting for the adoption of those RED II delegated acts on RFNBO production criteria. Obviously, we don't have any influence on that, but hopefully we will be able to apply towards DGNR, towards the European Commission, by the end of 2022. And actually, this is something that we have already started, the development of a RFNBO scheme. Preliminary analysis and a preliminary roadmap will be presented to you by Matthieu just after he introduced the new CertifHy GO scheme. Thank you very much for your attention. This is my last presentation for today, but I will stay here for moderation's sake. I'm personally very happy to share those results with you guys this afternoon. I think we have to be proud of the work that has been achieved towards a safe and a sound and efficient hydrogen certification market in the future. Thank you very much.